Howdy, howdy, folks, and welcome back to another YouTube exclusive here, doing some Modern today. We've got a Bad Moon deck, not to be confused with the obnoxious card Blood Moon. This is a 2-mana black enchantment that gives all black creatures +1/+1. We've got this paired with some recursive threats like Gravecrawler, Bloodsoaked Champion, and Bloodghast, along with Bitterblossom to dredge out some value. And then we've got Mogis Marauders here to give our things haste and intimidate, which can be kind of cute way to kind of push some damage through. We've got a small red splash in our otherwise mono black deck for modern staple lightning bolt, so doing pretty honest things here overall. We've got damping spheres, Thoughtseize, Collective Brutalities, and Leyline of the Voids in the sideboard to try and shore up some of those unfair matchups where our primary, just like honest aggro plan, is probably going to be too slow. So let's dive into some matches here and see how it goes. If I had to venture a guess, I'd assume this deck wants to play against some of the more fair interactive things in the format. So we'll see. If we hit too many things that are trying to kill too quickly, we're probably going to have a little bit of a hard time. So it seems fine. I'm mulligan that first hand, so 5 lands and not enough action in it. This hand has a pretty real curve. I'm not too sure how I feel about Gifted Aetherborn. I think I'm going to bottom it with this hand. Interested to see how that card ends up feeling. It's a little bit more of a defensive card in a deck that's otherwise trying to be a little bit aggressive. So, Tron piece. On the draw, we're almost certainly too slow. It's also worth noting, like, there's only 2 copies of Fatal Push in our deck, and, like, you know, we have 1 in our opening hand here. So again, just, like, leaning into a piece of interaction, queuing into a matchup immediately where our interaction is not relevant. Gifted Aetherborn really wanted to show up. It's worth noting, too, that, like, the fetch lands, in addition to enabling the red splash, also serve to enable Revolt on Fatal Push. They kind of have a dual purpose there. Relic Representative, sure. Wormcoil, dead. Got it. Get it, got it, good. Alright, I've got 2 Damping Spheres and 3 copies of Thoughtseize that we're going to swap out 2 Fatal Pushes and 3 Lightning Bolts for. Onward, upward, backward, forward. Could be a pretty quick first match. Decks like this, I think, are what we're waiting for, that new non-rotating format to really shine. These honest, low-curve aggro decks, just they're not busted enough for this format. I think a lot of the time is their big issue. They're just like trying to put lethal into play, you know, by turn 4, by turn 5, by turn 6. That's too slow against a lot of the format. While Tron isn't a deck that actually wins the game by turn 3, it effectively wins the game by turn 3 a lot of the time, right? Whether it's a Wormcoil that you can't come back from, or a Karn or something along those lines. I'm actually going to keep this hand because it just needs to draw a land. This hand has, like, everything I could possibly want in it for having a chance to win this matchup. And, like, obviously I could miss on 2, but I think if I hit the land drop by 3, we'll be in a pretty good spot. And I'm actually going to go ahead and just play Bloodghast on 2 here rather than the Damping Sphere, just so I can get the most pressure into play. Remember, it's not the disruption that beats decks like Tron, it's the disruption in conjunction with a clock that beats a deck like Tron. So you want to put your pressure into play, and then you want to start disrupting their game plan. That's fantastic. I think I'm going to Thoughtseize into Damping Sphere here, because they just, like, have the 3rd Tron piece naturally. I don't want to get got. Can I kill them before this Oblivion Stone is relevant? I don't think so. So I'm going to gamble here a little bit. I'm going to take Walking Ballista, and then I'm going to take their Oblivion Stone, and I'm just going to hope that they don't hit the Tron piece naturally next turn to play the Karn. If they hit the Tron piece naturally to play the Karn, I'm probably dead, but I think it's right to just get rid of both of those, because either of those are going to slow me down pretty badly. So they hit their Tron piece here, off the map, obviously, as expected. I'll get to play Damping Sphere next turn, hit them to 10. The following turn, I'll hit them to 6, play Geralf's Messenger. So we have them dead in 3 turns, basically. 3 attacks. Need to cast this so we don't get Ugin next turn. Turns out drawing sideboard cards is good. Who knew? Attack for 4. Alright, around the scoreboard, sweet. Good, honest Magic the Gathering. Opponent played no relevant spells and died, God bless. And now we probably have to hope to have one of our 2 Damping Spheres in the opener to have a shot here. Thoughtseize into Bitterblossom. Yeah, I mean, I think so. I don't think I can realistically mulligan a hand that's like got Disruption into a clock. Disruption. A singleton Thoughtseize does not Tron beat, but I just need to work with what I got here. Well, okay, huh. I think I just take the Expedition map. That's a guaranteed Tron piece. Then next turn we'll go Fetch Swamp, Bitterblossom. Hopefully, we're just like hoping they spin their tires for a turn or 2 here. And like, obviously Ancient Stirring gives them a lot of looks to hit something. But like, you know, on the off chance they like miss a land drop in 7 draws, we have a good shot here. They could realistically not have a green source for the second Ancient Stirrings. It's something that could happen. That's something that could cause them to kind of spin for a turn. So we're going to get Bitterblossom going ASAP here. We kind of want to draw a 4th land, so that way we can go double 2-drop on turn 4. Really want them to miss here. Perfect. All right, so you're saying there's a chance. Our Thoughtseize was relevant here. So what do I want to cast this turn? Do I want to just play Bad Moon? Let's do some counting. So if I play Bad Moon, next turn I'll have 2 Fairy Rogues, and I could play Mogis Marauder and attack for 7, which would put them to 13. It would leave me with 7 power in play. That's probably the line, right? I think it's Bad Moon, and then just like hope they miss for a turn or 2 here, or like never beating Tron into Oblivion Stone. So just like hope that doesn't happen. So Walking Ballista that doesn't do anything now. Fantastic. And this means they're likely missing a land drop again this turn, which is good for us. Perfect. This is gonna give these things get Intimidate and Haste. Let's go ahead and smack. It's a good amount of pressure. Yeah, I think them missing this turn means that they lost this game. I think they needed to hit that turn. So I'm gonna cast this. Do I even want to cast another thing here? I really don't, right? This is like 6, is 12 power in play, and like this has haste anyways, so really no reason to play into anything weird like a Pyroclasm in case they have it. Alright. I feel like we stole that one there. I don't know that we win a match where games where they actually play Magic, but thankfully they didn't play Magic there. So we took and I guess it is worth noting too that like we won that game because we had a piece of disruption, right? Like, my opponent would have assembled Tron in that third game if I hadn't had Thoughtseize. It would have been a little bit of slow Tron, but, like, they would have actually played Magic if I hadn't Thoughtseized their map away from them. Mogis Marauders is interesting. The fact that, like, this gives this deck, like, this deck actually has a lot of reach in it for being a mostly black aggro deck, right? Like, Geralf's Messenger and Marauder are, like, both reach, and, like, we have the Lightning Bolt Splash here, obviously, as well. Onward, upward, backward, forward. Tick-tock. Yeah, same seems great. Get to go 1-drop into 1-drop plus Bolt into Bad Moon or Marauder here. Some good honest things going on here. Oh no. Oh no. It's a slippery boy. I guess there's a chance my opponent could never draw a lifelink card and we could win, but, like, this matchup's probably unwinnable. If I had to venture a guess, I would guesstimate this matchup is unwinnable. Yeah, I'm just gonna move along with our lives. We are not the only time we win a matchup like that with a deck like this is when the opponent basically mulligans and never casts a spell, and, like, that's just, like, not interesting Magic. Does Bogles really generate interesting Magic? Not really. Well, it's not really the only offender in that respect in Modern. Onward, upward, backward, forward. Just like the true Modern experience, Tron followed by Bogles. Welcome to Thunderdome. Enjoy your stay. You need, in order to beat Bogles, you either need to have interaction, like explosives or disenchant, detention sphere, terminus, things like that. Or you need to be incredibly linear and busted. This deck definitely does not qualify on either of those axes. Which leaves you the only situation of them not playing Magic where it can work, and doesn't sound like a very productive use of time. Man, they call this league friendly, too. It's friendly about Tron and the Bogles. Ain't nobody know. Do 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 do. Maybe I should figure out a way on these pre-recorded videos to cut out the waiting for matches to queue time. It'll require a little bit of editing and pushing stuff around, but maybe that's worth it. You'll probably automate that to happen. The editing and pushing around at the end. Nobody wants to play Modern this morning. There's only Tron and Bogles players in the queue. It's me, it's Tron, and it's Bogles. I would love to play first. Yeah, I mean, that's the hand of Magic cards. It's got 1-drop into 1-drop plus removal, so hopefully this is a matchup where Fatal Push has a text box, and it's not just a mulligan to 6, because this 6-card hand is not particularly good. Like, mediocre at best. Like this 7 with like a Fatal Push that has text, like that's worth keeping. There's been a lot of talk recently about best of 1 and versus best of 3 in Magic because Arena's been pushing towards best of 1 for things. Like they kicked off their ladder being best of 1 recently, and the fact that like you have to make mulligan decisions in the dark game one is just like one of the biggest reasons why best of 3 is so important for leveraging skill. Unlike other games like Hearthstone and others where you can kind of guesstimate what your opponent is playing game 1 based on some type of information like their hero or their champion or whatever it is those games call it, to kind of let you know how you should play before you actually start playing. In Magic, you just like don't have a clue, right? So like you can't make educated and informed mulligan decisions in Magic without knowing what your opponent's playing. So it really removes, in addition to not letting you mitigate like the resource variance that's built into Magic, removing that ability to reduce and make educated mulligans based on knowing what your opponent's playing is a big deal as well. I wonder if we're going to see a removal spell here. Verdant Catacombs could be a few different things. Dryad Arbor. Am I playing against Bogles again? It's a different Bogles player. Yeah, different username. Literally playing against Bogles again. All right. Well, I guess we've gotten a freebie here with them mulliganing. Like I said, so like these are the games we can win, right? The games where their deck just doesn't do anything. It's like not a particularly interesting or engaging game of Magic the Gathering, but we can win it. Rather than conceding 2 in a row, we'll slog this one out, I suppose. Maybe we'll get lucky in 2 out of the 3. I do enjoy getting lucky. Up all night to get lucky, even. Do. Down to 10. Got 6 power and playing a lightning bolt in my hand. These are my 3/2s. There are many like them, but these 2 are mine. Smush. Kill you with fire. Yay, we did it! Our opponent played 1 spell and then they died. Yay! Alright, so I'm going to cut these Fatal Pushes. I'm going to bring in these Thoughtseizes. I'm going to trim my Bitterblossom. This matchup's definitely not about grinding. I don't really have anything else to bring in here, so I'm going to click Submit. Here's hoping our opponent mulligans to 4 again and dies. They mulligan to 4 that game for reference. I would appreciate it if my opponent mulliganed to 4 for a second time. That would be a way we could win for sure. Mulligan, 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 please mulligan. They went to 6. Do. They kept 6 cards. Oh no. Oh no, they found 6 cards that they like. I'm not sure we can win the game. Joke's on you, opponent. I bottomed my lightning bolt. Oh, geez. Are they in the... Did I bottom the bolt and they're on the stupid... They're on the core Spirit Dancer plan? Maybe they kept a 6 without a creature. Maybe they're going in on the Dryad Arbor plan again? Yes, I should have kept the bolt. Yeah, they're going to play Spirit Dancer. I'm going to be incredibly sad. Yep. It's unfortunate. It's just impossible to know. Ha ha! Magic the Gathering is a skill-based game. A true skill game my opponent and I play. Lucky, lucky, lucky. I said we were going to have to get lucky to win, chap. I said we were going to have to get lucky to win. Let's do it. Cycle the Horizon Canopy. You know you want to. Nothing. Alright, I think they're supposed to cycle the Horizon Canopy there, but who am I? Who am I to tell them how to play their game of Magic the Gathering? And the reason why you're supposed to cycle the Horizon Canopy there, I think, is because you could draw a land that you want to play out. And it gives you a chance to hit a Bogle sooner rather than later. Is this the Suit Up Dryad Arbor land? This is that we're about to die to this Dryad Arbor. Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. That's a 3/1 Spirit Linking Dryad Arbor. Or in other words, an unbeatable Dryad Arbor. Yeah, 3 bolts in my deck. Bloodghast, yep. No attacks. There's no point in attacking, because if I attack, they're going to attack back, and then they just gain it back. They're going to put First Strike Aura in here. Yay! We're dead! Yay! Magic! Yay! I want the Thoughtseizes on the play. The Thoughtseizes can seal a game on the play. We were incredibly lucky that game, and it was still not good enough. Turn 1 Thoughtseize, keep. I'm excited to get Leylined. Whoa, no Leyline. 1 Bogle, 1 Bogle, 1 Bogle, 1 Bogle. They have core as well. It's unfortunate. Well, we're definitely taking... They have double Spirit Dancer. Alright, so the plan is hope they never draw a second land. Because we're definitely not winning if they do that. I'm not saying it's a good plan, but it is at least a plan. That's funny. So, Spirit Link isn't actually Life Link. It's a triggered ability that says when this creature deals damage, you gain life. So this actually doesn't damage my opponent now. And then they drew a land, so we're dead. And, like, that's, like, a good example of, like, why I don't, like people often comment, like, why do you concede matches early? It's just like, well, the match is heading in that direction, right? So, like, I spent 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever playing that match to get to the same point that I could have gotten to beforehand. And the primary reason I play Magic is for, like, 1, interesting games, and 2, to learn things. And I feel like that those games that I played weren't particularly interesting, and I didn't learn anything meaningful from playing them. So, like, I spent my time on it, and I didn't gain anything back, which just makes it tough. There's a lot of more linear decks in the format where that's the experience, basically. Especially with these decks that are, like, slightly less efficient, like this one. Like with what's going on here. The ultimate power level. The total power level is a little bit low, right? And the easiest way for those that are newer to the game and, like, learning to start identifying the power levels of cards, the easiest way to identify power levels of cards, especially ones in an established format like Modern, is, like, look at the Magic cards in this deck, and then think about how many of the cards that are played in this deck see play in other Modern decks that are successful. The list isn't particularly long, right? So, and the reason why the list isn't long is because the average power level of a card that this deck is playing is kind of low. This is what we would refer to as a synergy-based deck. It's a deck that is hoping that it can play individually weak cards, and that the sum of the parts is going to give us some kind of payoff to make playing individually weak cards worthwhile. And I'm not sure that, like, Bad Moon and Mogis Marauders are, like, strong enough payoffs to make up for the low average card quality that this deck seems like it's going to have. Man, I'm excited to get Stone Rained off my only land next turn. I am super excited to get Stone Rained after missing my land drop. Maybe these 2-1s are gonna go the distance. Maybe they're just gonna like pick this game up and carry it across the finish line for us. That would be great. Blood Moon me, baby. Blood Moon me. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look at how interesting and engaging this game is about to be. Oh, almost mono black deck. Can't cast its spells because Blood Moon. Welcome to Thunderdome. GG WP. I'll board in Thoughtseize, I guess. Cut these fatal pushes, and I'm gonna cut Geralf's Messenger, I guess, because he's real hard to cast under Blood Moon. I think Collective Brutality is too slow to bring in, so I'm gonna skip over on that one. Can't help but laugh. Yeah, it's a very real possibility I probably should have rejected this deck. This probably should have been filed under the sum of the parts is not quite good enough for what the format has going on in it. Got pretty fortunate to beat the Tron in the first match. Just like had a bunch of sideboard cards game 2, and then their deck just like fumbled and died game 3 for us. We're gonna finish this match out, but if we get dumpstered one more time here, we're gonna call it a league on this one, I think. I mean, this one's got plenty of lands in it, right? And it's gonna get to play through a Blood Moon. So I guess I keep. I also, like, literally don't have a way in my 75 to take a Platinum Empyrean off the table, which seems like a potential problem for what the opponent's doing. Probably not a good scene for us. This is my 2-1 for 1. Are you quaking in your booties? Are you scared, opponent? You should be scared. I'm playing the Bitterblossom here as opposed to the Lightning Bolt because this way I can kind of curve out efficiently here. So I play 2-drop on 2, and then on 3 I'll be able to play 2-drop plus Lightning Bolt. And giving my opponent the opportunity to like play a 3-drop or possibly a 4-drop on turn 2 if they have Utopia Sprawl. But I think the risk to reward here is good. You know, I don't really care if they Stone Rain or Blood Moon me here, which are like their 2 things that they generally do on 3. So like, I don't think it's really a big deal giving them a turn with this Arbor Elf. We'll see if those end up being famous last words or not. We gave him a turn with the Arbor Elf. What's the worst that could happen? Yep, this is their best possible start. Turn 1 Elf into turn 2 Sprawl gives them access to a 4-mana spell on turn 2. Sure. Alright, so they didn't have anything meaningful to do for 4 mana. So that probably means I want to kill this, because the next turn they're only going to have 5 mana. They could have something scary to do for 5. At least I'm not getting Inferno Titan for 2 more turns, but like, if they Inferno Titan me 2 turns from now, I probably can't win the game, right? Like, they're going to be at like 9 or 10 when that happens. They're going to clean my board out. Probably worth noting that I want to hold this Swamp in my hand, so that way I can get the Bloodghast back with it later. Alright, so they spent a mana to gain a mana, so still at 5. Alright, just got a whole lot of nothing going on. It bodes well for us. I feel like we just don't beat anybody that does a thing. Like, just like anybody who's doing anything remotely close to modern power level things, I just feel like we're just like, well, if they do their thing that their deck's trying to do, we're gonna die here. And then like they do their thing and we die. But like, take this game for example, right? Like, we're ahead in this game right now, but my opponents literally only cast spells that like add mana. So they basically only played lands. It doesn't really feel like a very, like, meaningful game of Magic. Sure, that card doesn't have a text box. Still dead. Till they cast, like, Anger of the Gods here. Make us curl up in a ball and cry. I promise I've been very good. Don't be angry, gods. We've tried not to anger you. Be gentle to my tiny, honest black creatures. They're just 2 power creatures trying to get by in this tough modern world. They are technically not dead on board. They could jump block and then go to 2. And I'm assuming... Actually, I'm going to attack Chandra with this one, I think. I'm assuming they have Anger of the Gods in their deck. So that's the out they're playing to here. Maybe I'm supposed to... I'm going to hold the Bloodsoaked Champion back in my hand. Maybe I'm supposed to ship 2 Fairy Rogues into Chandra just because she gives them an extra draw at Anger. Like, they might... Yeah, they bolted the one attacking Chandra here. So they're going to 1. And this gives them an extra shot to hit Anger. Because Chandra can hit it. The concession there kind of says to me, hey, I don't have a sweeper in my deck. Like, that feels like what that could have been. Gifted Aetherborn seems kind of mediocre. I'm going to cut this and bring in some more removal spells in the draw, just so I can, like, kill their mana creatures with some consistency. I think the games that we end up winning are the ones where our opponent basically doesn't do their thing. So, like, being able to kill their mana creatures is a good way to hopefully prevent them from doing their thing. So bringing in extra removal spells, especially on the draw, seems reasonable. Like, they go mana creature on 1, or, like, our turn 1 is kill your mana creature. Yeah, I'm going to keep this. It's turn 1, dismember your mana creature. Turn 2, 4 power. Turn 3, bad moon attack for 6. We kind of have a plan here. I don't know that it's a good plan, but it's a plan. We get to fetch basic swamps while we do it too, which is good. Try and play around that pesky blood moon. Alright. Pay 5, kill your mana dork, go. Your move, Yugi boys, is all I got. Alright. Nothing on 2 is good for us. I'm gonna go ahead and fetch a basic swamp here, just in case we get Blood Moon next turn. I don't want to get locked out of playing Magic. Obviously, it kind of sucks if we draw a Lightning Bolt, but preserving my health total here also isn't nothing. Like, I'm at 14 already because of the Dismember. Hopefully we draw a land next turn, so we can go Diregraf Ghoul into Bad Moon. Attack for 6 and have 9 power in play. Like I said, just kind of hoping our opponent stumbles here a little bit. Hopefully they fetch a shock land here. If they fetch a shock land, that implies that Blood Moon's no longer in their deck, which kind of makes sense because we're a mono black deck, but at the same time, like, people just like to try and get folks. We did get got game 1 by Blood Moon. Alright, good. Sacred Foundry, I feel like, implies that they're likely not on Blood Moon right now. That being said, it also could just be that, like, they have Anger of the Gods in their hand, and they just like fetching their second red source to cast it now. Anger, like, almost certainly buys them enough time to win this game. With any reasonable draw. That's green. Okay. Stone Rain me, sure. Deal. Alright, let me get my 2 mana spell in here. attack them down to... Attacking them at a 10 is actually really good for us here, because it means if we don't get Stone Rained again next turn, this Bloodghast will have haste. So we'll get to attack for 9 next turn. Yep. Land. Alright. Attack you down to, down 7. That's unfortunate. Sure. That's better than Bloodbraid into Stone Rain, so I guess we got that going for us. The scary part about Chandra is that she ramps their mana too, so this means they can Inferno Titan or like Storebreath Dragon us or something scary next turn. I don't think there's any reason to attack the Chandra here, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit them down to 7. I actually have them dead through Inferno Titan here, right? I just need to, like, not get swept, basically. Looking to dodge Anger, and, even Sweltering Suns isn't too terrible, because the Bloodghast comes back from that one, so really looking to dodge Anger here at this point, with the Mogis in my hand. He's dead, Jim. That should mean there's not a sweeper in our future, which means this Mogis Marauder giving Intimidate and Haste could steal this game here. They're down to 2 cards in hand. So they need to have, like, a Lightning Bolt or something here. Am I getting Stone Rained again? I'd have to draw land then if that's the case. Woof. Alright, well, we get to put them... I get to put them to 1 here. You think I just want to put them to 1, cut them off of some outs. That was the reading Mogis Marauder pause for those who are unfamiliar. I think I'm supposed to kill Chandra. I think putting them to 4 is fine and killing Chandra. Just like giving them less draws to sweeper seems ideal. Yep. Just literally don't have an answer to that card in our 75. It's like double Dismember is the only answer, and we already used that, so, you know. So to give a concise summary wrap-up segment here at the end, this deck list is not linear enough to be competitive in Modern. It is not interactive enough to be competitive in Modern. The average card quality that it's playing is incredibly low. Just 2 1s for 1 and 2 2s that enter tap for 1. These are not Modern playable cards. And the synergy payoff that we're trying to leverage for playing these bad cards okay, being Bad Moon and Mogis Marauder, like, just aren't good enough. Bad Moon basically does its best to, like, give us a hint as to its power level in its name, and we just ignored it here, unfortunately. So this one's gonna get a thumbs down for me. Not one that was particularly good or powerful. I think if you're looking for something, want to play an honest aggro deck like this, check out Standard now. Check out be excited for the new non-rotating format that's coming up in the future. Thanks everybody for watching through the end here today. Remember, if you liked the video, smash that like button, ring that bell, and leave a comment down below. And I'll be back at some point soon with some more Magic content here. Remember, I'm publishing new stuff every single day now on the YouTube channel between archiving live stuff and new original stuff like this. So thanks for watching, folks, and I'll catch all y'all around later. Have a good one.